Hello everyone, I'm Danielle from Cageless Readings, so welcome or welcome back. Today's pick a card reading is a bit of a shorter one. The intention was to just figure out and remind yourself what makes you feel at your best. And what I mean by that is like, what is it? What kind of archetype are you in? What kind of emotion are you experiencing that gets you in that feeling excited and happy to be alive? So I chose 3 piles to do this with, and I put archetype cards down just to kind of get an idea of what kind of energy, what kind of persona, what kind of impact you like to have in the world, what kind of expansion or growth or type of person you like to be, and what kind of role you like to be in that creates that this is why I'm here, this is my purpose here, this is what makes me light up, this is what fulfills me and fills my cup. That's the kind of energy we're going for. So it's actually an emotion that we're trying to get you back in connection with. But the best way I could figure out to convey that emotion was through what kind of archetype are you in when you are feeling that emotion or causes that emotion to come up within you. So for fun, I actually pulled a few cards for myself. And I was like, I don't know if the collective really cares to hear this or not, so you can skip past this if you're not interested. But so I pulled 5 archetype cards for myself, and I feel like it kind of like nailed it. So we're only looking at light attributes for this card reading. I should also just say that. So the first card I pulled was Mystic. Revels in the intimate union with the divine, which is so true. If anyone knows me, there's like 2 things that I'm like insanely passionate about in this world that keep me feeling happy and fulfilled. First one would be the connection with just the spiritual realm and like earth and mother, like just that energy connection with everything, and being in the mountains. So it's kind of like I love the spiritual realm and I love the mountains. It's kind of funny. Those are like my 2 main things that I just can't live without. So, and when I saw the Mystic card, it was a confirmation of just how deeply rooted having a meditational practice is for me, and being connected and feeling connected in my body and to everything around me is. Seeker says, thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. This is so true. I was in a little bit of a lull, and I realized for myself what I need in my life to feel excited about every day is to learn new things, to grow. And it's anything. I can like learn some of the most boring things and I still find it interesting because it was something I didn't know. So this is such a huge thing for me. So when I saw the Seeker, it's just, to me, expansion and growth. So I was like, oh, these 2 are like my key things that I feel like I need, the Mystic and the Seeker, to just feel well in my day-to-day. And if these 2 things are missing, then that's when my sort of contentment, my enjoyment of this world starts to go down. And then I kind of found these things interesting. This is stuff that I like to do, but they're not as important as these 2 cards. So I'm wondering if this is going to come up for you all in your piles. But so it says, victim prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. This is actually so key for what I want to bring to this pick a card reading on YouTube. Is I found that there's a lot of cards, like great card readers, but the way to get people in is sort of, how do you say, what are they called again? It's kind of like making people feel a little disempowered or go into fear or an anxiety or disempowerment to click on their content. And sometimes when you click on their content, there is no form of disempowerment, but they for some reason use that tactic to get in. I told myself, although everything statistically says that not doing that makes you less successful, I just can't do that. I just don't want to tell someone that they need to hear this or else like something bad will happen, or say some kind of thing that sounds disempowering or something, I don't know. So I hope I haven't conveyed that on this channel, because to me that was like so important not to use fear and anxiety and people feeling disempowered to bring any sort of clientele or views. Okay, so anyways, and I also want people to realize that the only answers are within yourselves, and whatever stories and programs you tell yourself, that is like the ultimate decider. Like, it doesn't matter what someone else says, it's whatever is going on within yourself. So such a big theme that I like to focus on. And then here it says entrepreneur or creative ability to turn anything into gold, delights in sharing life riches. So this is really interesting because I keep saying, oh, I am so excited to be a millionaire someday so that I can just generously share whatever I have with others. Like, I just love that. I love being able to be generous. That makes me really happy. Liberator. So here it says freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thoughts and patterns. So this kind of goes back to like what I really wanted to do in my practice and even on this channel is get people out of these programs where they feel disempowered, where they feel like they're trapped, or they need someone else to get them out of the situation. Everything I feel like that I do, I try to convey, and obviously some things can get lost in communication and translation, that the answers are always within yourself, and getting grounded and recentered in yourself is how you will get the furthest. Really get aligned, really get clear on what you need to change, on what patterns are happening, what cycles are happening and why they're happening, and how to get out of them. I really think a lot of that starts by inner reflection, going within and knowing really what you want your story to be, what programs you are done with living in. I just so believe it all starts within. So that's I really thought that was interesting that I got this for my archetypes. So yeah, if you hung in for that, thank you. And if not, it's all good. You're here to hear about you. So before we talk about each pile, I am just going to play this Quartz Pyramid just to clear the energy, ground you, and it's really good at just releasing any stagnant energy and refilling it with light flowing energy. So that's what I love about this, is that it clears something out and replaces it with something new. Okay, so I'm just going to play it with that as the intention. All right, so if you like, you can take a few deep breaths just to really make sure you're grounded and connected with the intuition, with your higher self, or with your heart center, whichever you like to connect with for these types of things. And or you can visualize roots growing down out of your feet and all the way down to Mother Earth to really feel grounded once again in your bodies and aligned and connect with your intuition. Why do all card readers and energy healers just go crazy about telling you about grounding? It's really hard to bring in information and retain it if you're not grounded. So I find there's such a focus on the crown chakra and opening it, but there needs to be an equal equal focus on balancing the crown and the root. They should both equally be open, equally be connected to, so that you can bring in these inspired ideas, these higher insights, and root them in the body. So if you find yourself forgetting things, being very spacey in the mind, very disconnected, try rooting yourself. So breath work is great. I would recommend doing maybe some sort of box breathing or more feminine breathing where you're not cutting yourself out of air. You're trying to calm your body down and sink back into it. So sometimes if you're like holding your breath and doing stuff like that, sometimes it's not great if you're already feeling kind of stressed and like you are not connected in your body. But you know, you do you. You always follow your intuition. Just something I want to mention. Okay, so moving on for the piles here. Pile 1 is going to be this Quartz Pyramid. Okay, pile 2 is this cluster citrine. Pile 3 is this 2 pointed quartz. It's having a hard time seeing it. Let's give it a second here. Okay, maybe it's got it now. Okay, so let's get into your card readings. Hello, pile 1. So you chose the Quartz Pyramid. We'll put it right over here. And let's look at your archetype, your archetype cards first. So we have Child, Magical, Visionary, Goddess, and Exorcist. Really interesting. So I'll just read the light attributes. We have seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. Captivity to envision what, I don't know what's going on with my speech here, but it says capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. The feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality, and freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. Cool. And advice cards on how to bring this in. We have spring, new growth, blue moon, rare opportunity, ice and frost, static conditions, and rainbow, hidden gifts, autumn, harvest, and sow. So I've been finding that these cards are coming out for advice, more for how to attain a certain archetype that has come through. Yeah, so I'm just going to take a second here and tune in a little bit and see what's coming through for you. Okay, so I'm seeing like what keeps your spark going, what makes that feeling that just makes you feel so fulfilled and fueled is, so I get it from the Child, Magical, and Visionary. This feels very inventive energy, very creative, and it's almost the opposite of sort of what the mainstream energy can be like, where people are like, that's just how the way it is, or, you know, you can't change anything. You're like on the opposite spectrum when you're in your true energy spark. I feel like you could be someone who would do good in a job where you are hired by other companies to find creative solutions or creative outlets for problems they have, or like systems that aren't working, or even human resources, like how they can better utilize certain people in certain fields, how to really bring out certain people's gifts and strong suits, and how to find solutions to how would I almost say, like, take away where the weaknesses are, not focus. I don't know, I almost could feel like this pile could be really good at business advisory and testing out people's jobs and being like, okay, this is where I had an issue, your communication wasn't awesome here, and then like finding a solution, and even taking certain features out of companies' offerings if it isn't like a strong suit for them. That is just a totally random job that it's coming through that you would be good at, but it's just like you're just very creative ideas, and you're sort of the person who instead of seeing it just being stuck that way, you see the potential of shifting things and making it into something different. And when I see the goddess and this exorcist card, this is where I really see that whole energy around being able to almost utilize people's strengths in a way that maybe people's strengths that are a bit unusual. Like I always think of my one friend who she had a really hard time focusing, and she said that becoming a wedding planner became like her best catered job to her, because she always has 100 things going on in her mind, and she feels scattered brained or had a hard time just focusing on one thing for a long time. And this job is perfect because it requires someone to think that way, and she already was thinking that way. So I feel like you'd be someone who would see someone like her who is really good at doing lots of short, quick tasks and putting them in a position where that would be best. Or perhaps it'd even be like someone who is very good at taking orders out of a position where they're giving orders when they're better at receiving orders, or, you know, vice versa. So I really just see you helping people find their niche. You might even just be like a life coach or work career coach or something like that. The job you're in, I'm just hoping I'm getting a good visualization to you to like what kind of energy you work really good with. So when I see the goddess card, what's coming through for this is just you really being able to see people's strong suits and moving them into a place where they're free to use their strengths and be valued for their strength. I could even see you being someone who like helped people find the careers for them. Like maybe you work with youth and you're like, here's like possible job offerings that you might not have heard of because they're not traditional. And here's something you can do. I don't know. I feel like you really just give people advice. And it's like solving puzzles that you're really good at. It doesn't have to be that, but I'm hoping that you're understanding this whole like this ability to just think so creatively and come up with creative solutions. There's a lot of imagination, and I don't want to say imagination. It feels more like creativity, because I think what you say comes to happen, where sometimes with imagination, I feel like it's like thinking of things for fun, but not taking the idea further. So it feels more inventive. So if you like feeling like that and you've been feeling the shadow attributes, so I would almost feel like blocked, doubtful, I would almost feel like a little bit of depression would hang around this when you're not in your creative flow. And then I also feel like, as it says here, like selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. I think it's more the second one, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. I think this happens for this pile where you have a great vision. Other people can't visualize it through as far as you can. Like they'll just be like, oh, well, no one does that. There must be a reason. And it's like, well, no one has your creative mind. That's why no one's done it. No one's seen this need for this job or the strength of someone who is like that to do it. So I feel like that's like sort of the battle for you, is maybe coming across people who aren't as open-minded to it, which is why I come back to like, I feel like if you were coming in as a third party to give advice, it would be a good position to be in, because they're more likely to listen to you versus if you're like someone in that corporation trying to give advice to someone higher up, they don't always listen. So anyways, here it says new growth, rare opportunity, hidden gift, harvest and sow. So after talking about what gets you, what gets you feeling really like in your prime, in your gifting, in your purpose, and that emotion, I can't quite find the right word to find it. Maybe it's like if you did Gene Keys, they would say in your genius. If you're in your genius, then I see the harvest and sow and the grow, new growth. I kind of feel like this is even saying like seeing your ideas through, seeing it to the full extent, and like it says, not being dissuaded by people who are less creative, who are less able to see the bigger picture or the strengths and the weaknesses of certain people who are in a job. Weakness, for lack of a better word, just like where people aren't in they're not in their niche group. So it's almost like your prime is to help other people find what their prime is and take people out of jobs that aren't suiting for them and put them into a different position where they can shine brighter. So harvest and sow, I just feel like it's so connected to this. New growth is interesting. So if you're similar to me, like if I'm not like doing new things, taking on new projects, just switching things up and learning something a little bit different from whatever scenario I'm in. So even if the situation is slightly different or I have a client with a slightly different problem, it's very engaging for me and it's very intriguing for me. But if I start seeing, like, this just wouldn't happen with people, so I feel like I'm lucky there. If I'm not just taking on the exact same issue again and again, I'm good. And I feel like you might have the same thing. So maybe you fell into a job where I almost see like it could be like systematic, where it's like, all right, follow this template and this is how we're going to solve the problem. Don't go outside the template. That would be a job that would be just depleting of your life force energy, because what makes you shine is the creativity, not the template. So that I don't know if there's somewhere area in your life where you're like, this is like, yes, I've gone into this and I'm not loving it as much anymore. I feel like this is maybe more of a confirmation for you all to be like, remember that you love the creativity, the unknown, the changing variables. That what makes it engaging and interesting. And seeing it through, not letting people doubts and second guessings. They just don't have the same vision as you. Like, you're a visionary. They're not in that job for a reason, because unfortunately it's not their strong suit. Maybe their strong suit is kind of being like, I don't know, I want to say like the safety, the protector, like always is being very cautious. That's like what they do well at for the business they're in, is being cautious of things and just for having foresight, which you can see would maybe clash with what you're doing and offering. So the goddess card, the feminine expressed through wisdom, life force, sensuality, and freeing other people of destructive impulses. Hidden gifts, this is where I come back to, like, I really think you do see people's hidden gifts and bring clarity to them of what they are. So I don't know why, maybe somebody here who has a very strong energy must be doing this job where you're like literally going in and being like, okay, this person is your manager right now. They aren't very good at managing. They hate delegating work. So then they take it on themselves. They don't like, doing whatever. And I feel like you come in and you go, okay, what are they good at? What are people saying they are good at? Okay, they're good at doing the work, but they're not good at delegating it. So maybe you go in and you put them in the working position and put someone else who's better at delegating into their position. And I don't know, I feel like it just actually brings so much harmony. And I can see how some people are like, oh, I wouldn't want that job. It's like so much bad news. But I feel like everyone's life after is happy. So it feels very empowering for everyone involved. And people who might hate their jobs because it's so not aligned with what they like to do and what their strong suits are, I feel rewarded and better after you come through. So whoever you are, your energy is very dominant in this pile. So I'm getting that pretty strongly. And it's so funny. So it says when this is in their shadow attribute, it's fear of facing their own demons. So just basically facing their own worst case scenarios, their own worst case fears and anxiety coming through. But then once they're actually doing it, it frees others and themselves from, I would say, unhappy patterns, unhappy situations, jobs that are not serving them. So that's really important to remember. Okay. And also when you have hidden gifts in a rainbow, like it just says, like, overall it frees people, even though it might not always be in the way that they thought it would come or the way they wanted it. Blue Moon, rare opportunity. This is so interesting because I keep wondering if you guys maybe got a job proposal or if you've seen an opening for an opportunity that you haven't had before. I think this literally does mean there's a rare opportunity in your life right now, or starting to show up right now. And this might be a confirmation if this is like, if you've been feeling a little depressed, a little like not in your, in a place of work where it's really like filling your cup, it's depleting you. It just makes you overall not happy and you spend most of your time working at this job. It might be a little confirmation here for you all, or validation for you all, that you're not going to leave behind this amazing job if it's depleting you so much. And another one's coming through. But like I said, you just trust your intuition. I feel like there's a specific message for somebody here about something they're like going 50-50 on, but they know they want the job, but there's like a part of them that's a little worried about the change or worried about leaving. Static conditions, ice and frost. This one is throwing me for a little bit of a loop, so I'm almost wondering if I am going to read this out of the guidebook or not. When I see this, I almost feel like it's saying like, this situation you're in right now, I don't see it changing, and it almost feels like it's pulling you apart. Like it's like maybe like we've been saying this whole card reading, is it's not feeding this part of you that is what makes you happy in life. This is what fills you. This is what energizes you. That what makes you feel work isn't exhausting. And I feel like it's saying it's pulling at that because I don't know. I feel like there should be that potential with this job, but maybe like it just doesn't work out or people aren't open to listening to you. Because like I said, maybe you're not the third party business coming in. Maybe you are just someone in the business trying to give advice and it's kind of falling on deaf ears or something like that. But anyways, I'll read it from this little guidebook and see if there's something specific it is wanting to share with you. Okay. Okay, it's on page 131. So it says, things and events truly are frozen or becoming frozen around you. It will be temporary, but it will still be hazardous to venture into new areas at this time. If you try to overstep in any area of your life right now, you will find yourself slipping, and probably landing on your behind. Be patient. There's no movement now because other events and things need to unfold for you to benefit. Acting now will cause you to lose opportunities. The ice will eventually melt, so be patient. Okay, interesting. It also says, reverse ice frost early morning. Often things freeze around us because we are missing something or not getting an important lesson or message from life. Life will unfold in the time, manner, and means that are best for us if we allow it to. Relax. Things are beginning to melt and flow once more. Static conditions are passing in all areas of your life. Movement is beginning to occur around you once more. Interesting. So yeah, it sounds like if things have been stagnant, there's a couple different messages going on there. Like I said, always have to take your intuition and apply it to your own self, and if it makes sense to you. But I do feel like it's saying like, if you, yeah, I don't know. I still feel like these cards are very connected. So here is talking about something coming in and rare opportunity. I feel like this is so coming in. Yeah, I was trying to see if we get anything else, but I'm not really getting in much else. So I'm just going to have to trust that makes sense to you. And you follow your intuition first over anything else. Okay. This really was short and sweet, but yeah, I didn't want to like go too far with it. I just wanted to keep it light, simple, and just like a quick little reminder, because I find I often don't like watching like an hour picker card readings, but maybe that's just me, because then I kind of lose focus. So anyways, to end this, I am just gonna play this crystal pyramid just to ground you all back. if you've felt a little ungrounded, and just to also set the intention, if you like, to release or clear out anything that you can think of that you don't want to carry on past this card reading. So here we go. Okay. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and maybe I'll catch you around. Hello, pile 2. So you chose the Citrine Quartz Cluster. Put it right over here. Let's look at the archetype cards you got. Okay, so we have Child, Orphan, we have Guide, we have Mentor, ooh, sensing a theme, we have Warrior, and we have Virgin. So quite a bit of cards here, actually. Okay. And then I'm also going to just put out these other cards. These were advice on how to find your way back to this archetype if you're feeling a little bit disconnected from that. I keep having a hard time finding the right word, from that genius. If you like Gene Keys, I think that's what they'd say, or human design, I think they say genius or something like that. But I hope you get what I mean. That thing that makes you spark and glow and just makes your cup full and feel happy and just like you have all the energy in the world. Okay. Wow, I think you have the most cards. So, hang on. I'm just going to... Actually, you know what? I'll start by reading the light attributes for the cards, because I'm intending that it would just be the light attribute if you are in your prime when you are in this archetype. So here it says, independence based on learning to go in alone, conquering fears of surviving. We have represents the nature of divine in life and in yourself. Passing on wisdom and refining a student's characters. Refining a student's character. Huh, that's what it says. Strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will. Heroism and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. Maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to take a second to tune in a little bit deeper, and then we'll see what's coming through for you. Okay, pile 2. So after taking a second, what I'm really seeing here, these first 3 cards, well, actually, kind of these 2, I guess they're all kind of talking about the same thing. So never mind. But what I'm really seeing here is like, there's like this, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it joy? Maybe it's a joy in inner child work and personal growth work And there might even be in some self-discovery work. Maybe that's how you would label it yourself. But like the child, orphaned, warrior, and virgin, these are all talking about, it's almost like having had a tough upbringing, or an upbringing where, you know, it's just maybe it was the era you were born in, the social norms of the time, and parents just didn't really know how to emotionally support their children, or maybe physically be very great parents. And I really feel like there's just like, it's almost more like being proud of yourself, and there's nothing like, I want to make sure I'm finding the right word, because I don't want to use a word that you're like, oh well, I'd like feel guilty to feel that way or something like that. But I feel like there's just like this joy in knowing that you're doing some work on yourself to know yourself deeper and understand your patterns and your programs and your subconscious beliefs, and altering them and changing them, and like almost resetting the program to back to what it originally was before maybe your parents taught you otherwise, or society kind of made you feel or learn lessons that were different, that were not as loving, for lack of better words. And I feel like there's like this earningness, I'm not sure if that's a word, within you, or a desire within you to come back to this I see like pure of heart, like just this true self, this self before the programs, before the societal shame was put on you or influenced on you. And the child orphan here, it seems like it could be like a negative card, but it really talks about learning your own independence and really understanding that there's no need for fear, and that fear is an illusion, and that you've got this. So I find that very, very interesting. So this is like, self-growth is such a huge thing, because when I get to this guide and mentor energy, I almost feel like these three should be over here. And when I get to this guide and mentor energy, I feel like it's almost like this desire to help kids, younger people. So it could be anything from small children to, I even think, teenagers, or like young adults. So maybe it's like 18 to 21 for some of you, from maybe having to take as long as you did to figure out what was going on within yourself, figure out the programs, figure out who you really are, what you really want, really get connected with yourself, learn who you are, come back to your truest self. This whole like big ego thing coming on. So I feel like you really like to look at your shadow side and like just observe it and ask why that happens. And yeah, I really feel like there's such a big call for you to just help others not have to learn the hard way or go in it on themselves. And I even think like doing that kind of work, you learn more about yourself through it as well. You see things mirrored to you that you once felt, and it almost helps you continue the cycle of healing things within yourself. So it's very interesting. I'm trying to tap into what exactly this energy is. I feel like it's a calling. Yeah, maybe more of a calling for you in life is like you just feel so called to this line of work. And it fulfills you, and it makes you feel like you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be here to do. So yeah, like I said, I don't know how old these like people are that I see you guiding or mentoring. But I do have the impression that they are still classified as young adults or kids. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So interesting. So for the advice cards, we have be strong but gentle, healing and balance, power and prayer, new doorways, apply past lessons, and protection. So be strong but gentle makes me think of the cards over here where it says like warrior. And I even think there's like a misconception. Like when I first saw the warrior card, I was like, oh, they're really tough. And then I like read what it meant, and it was all about self-discipline and strength of will, and kind of realizing what's like ego driven and what is like truly in the heart. So when I see this be strong but gentle, I think it's even saying like use like to be a warrior doesn't always mean you have to go kill something or like kill the thing within yourself you don't like. And I think you know this. I think it's more like holding space and seeing what's going on there and asking what it needs to heal and what it needs from you in general. And I really think I see that. And I almost feel like there's a persistence energy with the oak. Be strong but gentle. Yeah. So interesting. I feel like people always refer to oak trees. So that's interesting. I feel like there's a lot of wisdom associated with oak trees. A lot of wisdom, which definitely goes with this. So also I think there's like a little calling to remember that like we all like there is like a light and a shadow side to things, and to know that like there isn't a need to remove all of the shadow. Like the shadow is just there, and knowing what it needs from us and what space it needs is just part of life. And I feel like with the warrior, it's like a reminder that it is meant to exist within us. How much control we let it have over us is one thing, or what we like when we feel out of control, that's also another thing. So beach, healing and balance. I think that kind of goes into what we were just talking about making sure that you don't get too focused on too much inner child work. I hope you know what I mean by that. Like if you forget about the fun in life and the joy of life, and for me, I think it's almost like, maybe for you, it's like working with these people and teaching others what you've learned by doing your own inner work, and not just getting too caught up in what would I say, and trying to maintain the purest of hearts. That might be the best way to say it. But I feel like as I say that, this pal's like, what? I don't like what? But this is my calling. And I'm like, yes, but it's just remembering to also hold space for lightheartedness and for things that bring you joy. So not pushing yourself too hard is sort of the energy I'm trying to convey. Healing, I feel like this should be healing in balance, not healing in balance. So power and prayer, beach, new doorways, apply past lessons, and protection. I really feel like protection card is interesting because I kind of feel like you're the protector of young people, and you're like the strong foundation, or the strong I think foundation is the word I was looking for. Like I feel like, sorry, I'm just kind of like, I wonder what you are asking about here. I feel like you're asking a slightly different question if you chose this card than what I'm answering right now. I almost feel like there's a question about what you can do to get more openness in the people you're trying to help. I don't know if that's a specific question or what's going on there, but I actually feel like this is when I see this cedar card come through for protection, is just like being a consistent, strong foundation. That feels so important. Like just consistently being who you are and showing up who you are and being honest. They keep saying consistent. And I think back to like with the kids, like I feel like if you're working with some people, sometimes they test people and they push them away, even though they don't want to, they just think it's easier. So I almost feel like there's like a reminder just to be that consistent version of yourself, and you're not holding people accountable for their actions, but you're just consistent with it. You don't, I don't know, I hope that makes sense. I feel like, especially with all the trees, I feel like there's a bunch of things going on about being consistent and true to who you are and stable. Power and prayer. Okay, so the last one I wanted to read a card from, I think I want to read this one, because this one I'm a little bit like, interesting. I wonder why this one is coming up. And then new doorways and apply past lessons, sunrise and sunset. I don't know why I feel like a message I want to share for this pile is like every day holds something a bit different. Even though it seems like the agenda is the same, I feel like you'll have different results. I don't know why that feels important to mention, but I'm feeling called to say that. And I actually want to read this power and prayer card right now. I feel like feels pressing. Okay, so Beech. It's a tree. Okay. Page 93. Okay, so it says, the beech tree can awaken old knowledge in new expressions of it within our life. Its spirit is one of great strength and grace. Its presence here is a reminder that your words have great power to heal, to curse, to bless, and more. When you give vocal expressions to thoughts, their energy begins to unfold and manifest somewhere in the world around you. Look to the power of prayer. It will make your thoughts and wishes clearer and help you accomplish tasks more easily right now. It has great potential right now, and those prayers will be heard. So interesting. So I feel like, to me, when I read that card, it makes me think of that subconscious programming, which, like I said, I feel like you're all about. So it's almost like, what are you saying in the back of your mind right now? And what I see as an example coming through is just like, do you wake up and go, all right, I'm going to start today. I'm going to try to be happy about it, but I know little Johnny is going to be a shit today. He's going to do this, and I'm going to get mad. It's almost like saying, are you subconsciously or accidentally kind of assuming that the worst thing is going to happen? Like, are you going into it on guard and prepared for that energy to come in? I don't know for sure, but that's just like an example I'm seeing. So it's almost saying and I know it can be hard to say. I already feel like I'm feeling some resistance from people watching this. I know that can be easier said than done, but it's almost like saying if you come in it with a different energy, to openness of a different thing coming through, of a different situation happening, it can feel that shifting even the energy of what this person who can feel problematic is picking up on. They're not, I don't know, like you're saying, they're not going to be a fulfilling prophecy. A prophecy fulfilling. I don't know. I think that's an expression or something. A new door. So I feel like this is saying there is an opportunity for things to change, like it's saying, and apply past lessons. I think this is talking a lot about reflecting. If you're working with people who are similar situations as you, or you were as a kid, it's almost calling you to reflect on, what did you need and how did you feel as a kid? So I wonder if some of you actually were part of, what is that called? Were taken care of by foster parents or social services or something like that. Or maybe you just moved around a lot and felt very ungrounded and unstable. And I think that could even be why the card's coming up for 2 trees and really saying it's important to be stable and consistent. Because I feel like these people you're working with are waiting for people to change their mind about themselves. I keep getting that. They're waiting for someone to get bored with them or get tired of trying or getting tired of putting up with them. And it's almost, it feels like they're testing you, but it's a very defensive, childlike feeling, inner child wounding stuff. But it's saying I think you did a similar thing as a kid. I think you might have pushed people away just to see if they cared enough to stay or to fight through it or fight for you. I don't know. I hope that makes sense to this pile. I'm really getting that it's saying almost ask yourself, your younger self, what they would have done in that situation. And that also being said, it's interesting that you chose Citrine, because I always see that as the abundance coming through stone in all situations. I can't just unsee it as an abundance stone, and a confidence stone. So I don't know, maybe it's something you've been feeling like you're needing a little bit more of lately, is a little more confidence or a little extra help. Yeah. Maybe it's just knowing you're going to be successful. It's success stone. So maybe you just need some words of encouragement, because it is interesting. I wonder if this pile kind of chose this because you like this, but you're feeling depleted or tired. Because I feel like maybe you're getting tired of feeling like the same situation's going on again and again, and you can't seem to change it or get through to it. So be strong but gentle, healing and balance. So interesting. Your door's opening. So yeah, I feel like there's a call for some inner reflection, because I think you do see a part of yourself in these people you're trying to help, and almost going within yourself to be what did I need back then, and being able to deliver that. So it might be some It might be like some hard, tough love words that have honesty, where it might, I don't know, like maybe it is just calling them out and stuff. I keep getting that energy too. Like, I feel like whoever you're working with needs to be held very accountable for what they're doing. Very accountable. And I think a lot of people haven't had the courage to be very accountable, but also, like it says, still at the same time being gentle about it. Like, I really, really want to help you and I really like you. And then I don't know. I feel like maybe that's it. I feel like there's a tricky situation, but I am seeing like movement possible for you because you do understand them. You do understand them. You can relate to them. And that is like where your strength is in this situation. So unfortunately, I think that's all I really have to share with you, but I am going to play the Crystal Pyramid again, just so if there's anything you're just like, all right, I really need to release this or offer this out, or I just need to feel a little more grounded or recentered, I'm just going to play this, and whatever intention you want to put into the sound, you release it to this sound. Okay? So it's totally up to you. You know what you need and you know what's best for you. All right. I wish you the best of luck. You've got this. You're strong, and you've got a great heart on you. Okay. Wishing you the best of luck. Okay, hello there, pile 3. You chose the double point quartz. The one doesn't really like focusing on. Okay, so let's look at the archetypes you got. We have Judge, Storyteller, Avenger, ooh, interesting, Angel, and Healer. Okay, and I'm just going to put out these other cards as well. You have River and Stream, flowing and evolving. Redwood, Ancient Teachings. We have Emotional Protection, Gardenia, and Spread Seeds, and Carnation, Follow Your Passion. Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to put these down very straight. Do, and do. Do. I don't know why I'm doing that, but I am for some reason. Okay, pile 3. So what I'm seeing here, I'll read the light attributes for you first. So Judge, it says balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power, the ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. Then we have desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society and oneness. We have 2 cards talking about justice and balance. Here we have helping those in need with no expectation of return, and passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. ability to help transform pain into healing. So 3 cards talking about finding joy and purpose, and almost just like we're talking about, this whole card reading is about what fills your cup, what energizes you, what makes you feel grateful and happy to be here on this earth in this life. And I'm seeing connecting with others and being able to help them in almost learning how to help themselves is what I'm seeing. And doing it without any expectations, doing it without expecting them to respond a certain way, just doing it because it makes you happy. But I do want to point out there was 2 cards I talked about, balance and justice. So there is something here around, I think you like to help people who maybe found themselves in an unfair situation. And then that's why they're in the situation they are now. Like maybe their company went under, that they were working at, and they lost their job without any severance or without any notice, and it's during an inflation or something like that. Or maybe they got in a car accident and lost the ability to walk or use their part of their body, and they couldn't do the job anymore, and now they're struggling to find a job, to find something to help them survive and support their family. Like, I feel like it's more those types of people that you are drawn towards. The balance card comes through, I see in this, because it's saying, if you've been finding yourself in, especially with the emotional protection, I think you found yourself sometimes working with people who were taking too much, and it stopped feeling like this gift you could offer, because it wasn't being received by these people as being like taken and grabbed at, like scarcity, like they couldn't get enough of it, they wanted more and more and more, and there wasn't any accountability or change happening within them. So why am I even mentioning this is when I said the spread seeds and emotional protection cards come up in reverse, I think it's telling me that from past people who didn't honor, who weren't like the people who were going to receive it, who were really wanting you as a healer and not just as someone to help feed into their story, if that makes sense, their story of disempowerment, their story of not being able to change, their sort of pity party, for lack of better words. That's exhausting, where I feel like you really want to shine your light with people who are grateful, who are wanting change, who are looking for that break so that they can get ahead, so that they can make it out of a certain situation. Those are the people you are going towards. So this here, yeah, is really just saying like there is like this, there's almost too much protection going on to the point where you're not taking action and you're not doing these things that you like I get out of like a fear that these certain types of people will come in and drain all your energy. But I just want to say, like, I can tell that you know the difference in that feeling now. You know when something feels good and aligned and like you have the energy to do it, and when it feels like it's being draining and taking away from you and it's becoming a burden. So I might end up reading these cards from the guidebook for you, because I feel like these are really key, because I feel like right now this pile is probably feeling a little bit stagnant because they feel so happy and aligned when they're doing this kind work, but it has gone into the past into a point of depletion. So I can see the dilemma. But here, this is a great advice card. It says, follow your passion. So when I see this, and it's feels very connected to the angel card about helping those in need without any expectations, I see it as just following what fills your cup. If you're doing something and then it starts to feel draining, or feels like this person is taking a lot of your time and not respecting boundaries, or you're forgetting to set boundaries and it's starting just to feel depleting, it's no longer going to be following your joy, following your passion, following where the energy is flowing. You're going to remove yourself from that situation and try another avenue. It's almost like, don't be afraid. Just follow what makes you feel good. Follow that emotion. It won't lead you astray. Or if you do, like it says, it's not too late just to set those boundaries. You know how to do that now, and find the place again. I almost feel like, though, you're going to find like an organization where there's almost like a filtering process, where they are only taking in people who say do want help, who are showing the initiative to take action after. So maybe you're going to volunteer somewhere. I don't know. I feel like Maybe this is volunteering. I feel like you already are, like you have maybe you're a massage therapist, maybe you're an energy healer, maybe you are a counselor, maybe you're a doctor, maybe um there's some kind of skill you already have that you're offering. So it's like another industry job that you're bringing into this sort of work to help people. And I could see it being technically kind of like a volunteer position, or maybe you do it for a reduced rate or something like that, or a nonprofit thing. But yeah, I do feel like there's some sort of filtration system like at that organization so that you're not dealing with people who have proven to um, continue on a path of not taking accountability. And also, yeah, I think you're gonna want to say it. So, anyways, ancient teachings and flowing and evolving. So, this to me is just like kind of confirmation that I think you like sharing. So it's like ancient teachings. When I see this, I think it's more like sharing the knowledge that you have gained, the wisdom you have, sharing in what you have learned to do with others. Sorry about that. Camera battery just died. So let's see, where was I going? I think I was talking about this ancient teaching card and how my perception of this is just like sharing of knowledge. And I wonder if you are just also just pretty wise person, pretty well experienced just in life in general. And I wonder if there is a little bit of a thing going on here of just even teaching, like I hate saying the words like teaching common sense. But I almost feel like there's some of that, like just like as simple as like just really showing and embodying in your own who you are self, that treat others how you want to be treated, respect other people, don't lie. Like it sounds kind of funny, but I feel like there is like that you offer people, like you are just that way, you are a representation of that. And I think showing people like this that there is good people, there's people where you can have mutual respect and people won't manipulate things against you. And it's just, I don't know, I feel like you're a very healthy person to be a role model for these people or these other people, or people in general, I should even say. And I think you also create like a sense of trust again. Like a trust in the kindness of humanity, the generosity, the true, like, I don't know, I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. Like, there's just like, you restore faith for some people and the kindness of others, that it is out there and people do care. I feel like just your energy, you feel like you're probably a very warm person, whether you see that or not. But I feel like when people see you, they feel safe and they feel not judged. I think that's what it is. You don't have a lot of judgment within you for others, and people pick up on that in your energy. Okay, so rivers and stream, flowing and evolving. This was like a guidance card on how for you to get back to what you like to do. And because I keep in, so I really am going to read these cards out of the guidebook for you. I keep seeing like you have, like, I think sometimes you need to remind yourself, like you like to take on new experiences. And although I think you might have some anxiety for this pile, I feel like you can get really nervous. Like, what if I'm not good enough at it? What if I don't know what to do in this situation? What if it's awkward? What if the people don't like me? Like, just like stuff like that going on. And I really feel like there's like a reminder to like sort of ground yourself and remember that you like new situations. You like working with these people. You like connecting with them. You like sharing what you've learned. You like being able to share your gift. It fills your cup. And you do just like growth and a little bit of new things. I definitely see that, growing and evolving. Learning and changing courses. Like, I think that's just all part of you, is just to do something for a little bit until it doesn't feel right and then switch into something else. And I think that just even helps you grow in that wisdom and those experiences that your body really thrives on. It's really excited to pursue. So without further ado, I'll read the spread seeds card. Okay. Cattail, spread seeds. It says, you are likely stuck in old habits and routines, and the pattern needs to be broken. Get active. Don't sit back and wait. Initiate. Create. Motivate. I feel like those are all like a catchphrase or something. It says, only then will you free yourself from the mud in which you feel stuck. Try new approaches. Do new things. Step outside of your normal and life rhythms. It will loosen the strict I don't feel like this is a typo. The stricturus, I think it's trying to say the strictness, but I don't, yeah, I'm not sure. So sorry. So let's just restart. It says it will loosen the strictness upon your creativity. Fear of your seeds being rejected is holding you back from expressing some of your most creative ideas and being as productive and successful as you can be. So really, through my butchering of trying to read that, really what I see it says, take initiative, get creative, don't sit back and wait for the perfect opportunity to like literally land in your lap with no effort on your part. Go out there and pursue what you've been wanting to pursue. If you've been wanting to try this new job or a new volunteer position, just go for it. Just go for it, and know if you don't like it and it's not for you, you can leave it. But follow that passion, follow that excitement, because it's saying you've been stagnant and you keep hoping something will come along, but it's saying no, you go get it. You go get it. Okay, and then this card here, the emotional protection. It says, you are allowing your emotions to fog your life and prevent you from taking action. So there's another block in taking action. Both cards talking about that. That's where you're being blocked. It is difficult to let go, but we must do it for our own good. You know what must be done, but you are refusing to act. These are times when it is important to protect your own emotional being. This is one of them. Emotional drama and chaos is not healthy and not necessary. It is a sign of something being wrong. Recognize the signs and honor yourself. So awesome. Definitely, as soon as I tune in these cards, I'm honestly getting such a strong anxiety and fear vibe coming through. So I feel like there's a thing around if you're waiting to take action until that emotion is gone. Unfortunately, I don't see that emotion going away until you take action to fix it, to get out of it. So if that looks like having a conversation, quitting maybe a job that is depleting, and maybe this is even like a situation, oh my gosh, I think this is something going on for someone here. Okay, like if someone, maybe you are volunteering someone, maybe you chose to work for a place where, I don't know, I feel like a vet. I want to say vet, vet or doctor kind of vibes, where you're paying very low costs, you're charging them very low costs, and it's starting to feel draining and not balanced, and you're like, I want to do this work, I really like helping things. And I think the big message is coming through is, if it's not feeling like passion, if it's not flowing, it's time to evolve. It's time to let it go and find a different organization or a different way to do what you want to be doing. Because if it's not making your cup full, then it's not the right thing for you. I think that actually, I'm so sorry. I feel like I just caught on to what y'all were here for. Sorry about that. Yeah, but definitely, I think there will be a different filtration system that you can go to. Like I was saying, like maybe a different system where they're filtering out these people who aren't going to appreciate it. They aren't going to take action. I don't know, someone's definitely a vet here. They just keep coming up. I feel like maybe if you have your own vet practice, maybe you can even start doing some kind of like, I don't know, program or something on the side, or funding on the side for you to be able to do that within your own clinic, your own practice, or something like that. I feel like it said you have some ideas, you know what you want to do, you know what you need to do. It's just, I almost feel like the emotion of anxiety and fear is what's blocking you, and it's time to take action and get out of it. And remember that you wanted to be doing this in the beginning because it made you happy, it made you feel excited, and you've got this, okay? You've got this. Balance. It's all about balance. If you're not feeling good, then it's not for you. Okay. So this is a short reading, but I am going to, just before you go, if you'd like, we're going to play this crystal pyramid again. And if there's something coming up right now that you're like, I just want to release this, I don't want this in me, I want to maybe help release some of the anxiety or the fear, or I want to feel more grounded, just set whatever intention you want into the sound and just release it to be transmuted. Okay, so here we go. All right. I hope the best for you. Best of luck with this situation. You've got this. Just remember how you want to feel and how you should feel in this type of situation, and release anything that isn't serving you anymore, isn't filling your cup, isn't making you smile, isn't keeping that spark alive. There's something else out there for you that's more aligned.